Landry. I am a Troop and Service Unit Support Specialist for Girl Scouts of the Desert Southwest. I'm here in El Paso, and we are going to be talking about Service Unit Treasures tonight. Annette Tony, who is another Troop and Service Unit Support Specialist, is going to be, she prepared this beautiful presentation for us, and she is going to be our moderator tonight. So please take it away, Annette.
Hello, everybody. I am in the Silver City office. And so welcome, and I hope we learn a lot tonight. Our agenda is living the Girl Scout promise and law, responsibilities, different resources, troop accounts, service unit accounts, guidelines, maintaining, and end of year paperwork. The next slide. I have to put this up there because I want you to see what the service unit treasurer's job description is. There's a lot of very important things just because it deals with money. One of the things that I think everybody needs to be aware of, you're assisting in developing the budgets for the service unit events. Last night on the events one, they talked about this book for service unit, and it has a page in there so that you can help your service unit do budgets for events. You need to be sure you complete and submit the annual service unit report to council for the fourth Thursday in June. For troops, they can do it through the VTK. For service units, you still have to do it by paper, but that doesn't mean you have to hand it in by paper. You can scan it and send it in by email to info@GSDSW for approval. You're going to be maintaining all the records for the service unit accounts. One thing I would like to ask for when you talk to your troops about keeping their records when they're attaching receipts, label the receipts. As one of the persons who's been approving financials, I think that is the one thing I wish troops and service units would do is when you have a receipt from Walmart, label it on the top, Tea Party, mother-daughter event. If you worked on a patch, put that on there. When you do your ledger, same thing. Don't just put money spent at Walmart. Put why you spent the money. It won't take that long. It'll just help out, and it'll be easier for us to match up expenses with receipts. Make sure proper closure of disbanded troop accounts and provide notification to council. In the volunteer policies, there is a section titled about disbanding troops. It says, in the event of a troop group disband, money raised, earned, or received in the name of Girl Scouting becomes the property of council. And that is in the policy manual. However, in the volunteer essentials on page 78, and I think this is really important, and I'm reading it word for word. It says, prior to disbanding, the group may decide to donate any unused funds to their service unit, another troop, or girl activities. Girl activities can include purchasing materials to support another organization through their Take Action projects. So as long as the girls are helping to make this decision when they disband, they can donate this money towards another Girl Scout troop or to their service unit to maybe for an event to help pay for a tea party, whatever. The next one, and the treasurer's position is a 3-year term. But the reason being, the first year you will be mentored by the treasurer from the year before. Then you will have a year of being the treasurer. And then in your 3rd year, hopefully you are training a new treasurer. Sometimes you may not be able to do the whole 3 years. Whatever you can do is greatly appreciated. Next slide, please. Next slide. The Girl Scout promise and the law. Do we want to say it or no? We just, live by the Girl Scout and the law, the promise and the law. On your honor, the money belongs to the girls. It's not the troop leaders. Make sure you're asking the girls, how do they want their money spent? Daisies, of course, they're going to need a little more help with that. But brownies and juniors, they can help make some of those decisions as to where their money gets spent. So the next slide, service unit treasurer responsibilities. It says maintain all service unit financial transactions. So if you get money donated from someplace, make sure you're recording that onto the ledger. On the GSDSW website, there is a ledger that you can get. Click on forms, and then it's going to be coming up. There'll be a picture of it, so let's hang on to that. But you're going to keep track of all the records. Make sure you keep track of deposits and all your expenditures. Why did you spend the money? Label those receipts. Make sure troops and service units are in compliance. Make sure reports are being turned in by the fourth Thursday in June. Help troops with financial literacy. Go to their service unit meetings. Make a report. How much money is left in the account? Where was the money spent? Help with the budgets. Communicate regularly and proactively. Make sure troops are making their finances available for parents to see, so they know where their daughter's money is. Especially when it's cookie season, that's when issues with money comes in. Parents want to know what happened to all that money we had from cookies. Show them. Let the checkbook be open. Never say, I'll show it to you later. Just get it, let them see it. Next slide. This is the flow chart for the service unit team. As you can see, the manager is in the middle, and the manager kind of is controls, oversees the other positions. And so the treasurer is chosen by the manager. Anybody can be the treasurer. Everybody has to be a registered Girl Scout and pass a background check. Next slide. Volunteer essentials, the volunteer policy manual. I marked a couple pages, page 78, and that was the page where I read about how girls can donate their money from if they're troop displayed. Noise someplace. On page, let's see, 86, there went a paper on the floor. It says group money earning activities organized by the group. If your troop wants to do more money earning activities, they have to be approved by the fund development department. Troops have to have participated in both product sales. That's the cookie sales, and in the fall, the nuts and magazine sale. If they don't participate in both, they probably will not be allowed to do an extra fundraiser. When you're doing a fundraising event, it cannot interfere with, say, the sale of cookies. You can't be doing a bake sale at the same time as cookie sales. We don't want that interference. When you're collecting dues for troops, keep in consideration, maybe there's some families that cannot afford the dues. And this could be a place where it gets kind of sticky with some parents. You know, dues might be optional. And if some parents see some girls are paying, some are not, that it could turn into an issue. I hope it doesn't. But keep that in mind. Not everybody can afford the dues. I know doing financials, I've seen troops, there's a lot of troops out there that collect dues. A lot of troops don't too. So it's certainly up to you, depending on what you need the money for.
Annette?
Yes.
1 minute, please. Hi, Annette, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that.
All
So,
right.
folks, we're getting some interference. I show that all participants are muted, so I'm not exactly sure what that interference is from. So if you will just double check that you are all muted, that way we can all hear hear the presentation. I would really appreciate it. Thank you, Annette. Please continue.
So another thing with getting extra permission to do fundraising events, we do not allow games of chance. So no bingos, no guess how many jelly beans are in the jar. That's a game of chance. The only way you can do something like that is if they are given something for, if they have to pay 25 cents to make a guess, they can get a sucker or something back, but it has to be something of value or whatever they pay. It can't be a raffle ticket. There's no games of chance. You have to get written approval from the Fund Development Department. Girl Scouts, of course, all sales are open to all girls. The next page, troop accounts. So when a troop wants to open a new account, make a change on account, or close an account, this is the box that you are wanting to do. If you want to open an account, check that box. If you want to make a change to an account, check that box and put in the account number. Then there are 3 lines for signers on the account. It always has to be at least 2 people that can sign, unrelated adults not living in the same house. 3 people on the account is better just because it's easier. Say one person works, they're harder to get a hold of. Maybe you can get a hold of that 3rd person. But you do need to put your name on there, date of birth, driver's license, social security number. You need to decide who the bank statement is going to get mailed to and who is going to be responsible for the debit card. There is only 1 debit card to be issued per troop. In the Volunteer Essentials, there is a page that talks about debit cards. And at first I thought it was a mistake, but I kind of think it's just the way it's worded. It says that, where's my book? Let's see, page 78. It says that you should always have more than 1 debit card. And I think what it means is that you could have somebody's personal debit card, not that you want to use it. This is how it's worded. It says have 1 or more backup people who also have debit cards in case the main card is lost. That does not mean you can have more than 1 debit card for your troop account or the service unit account. If a troop goes on a trip, you may want to have maybe somebody else's debit card that could possibly be used for an emergency in case somebody lost the troop card. Hopefully that won't happen. The troop financial ledger, that is the other page you see there, and that you can find on the GSDSW website also. When you're doing your troop financial at the end of the year, this is what you're going to want to fill out. This is where I want to see where it says the date, put Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, but put why you've spent that money there. Maybe it was to earn the bug badge. Maybe it's earn a safety badge. Whatever. It just helps. It just makes it easier when we go through the finances.
Annette, we had a great question come through, and it asks, can we use the spreadsheet, like any spreadsheet that mimics the ledger?
Yes. If all your finances, everything is done through a regular checkbook register, I would say you can turn that in. I've seen financials turned in. Wells Fargo will print financial activity history for the whole year for troops, which is wonderful. And then troop leaders have gone in and hand wrote what the expenses were spent for. So anything that looks like this, and it'll ask for a beginning balance and ending balance. The last page also asks for signatures of the treasurer and I believe the leader, so that everybody knows what's been spent. Oh, and that's, I should go back to that. When it talked about the bank account, and one person gets the statement, one person gets the debit. The reason being, that way there's always that check. You know, if somebody's spending money on the debit card, somebody else gets the statement, they can say, oh, you know, Betty, what was this for? And it's accounted for. It's just to keep everybody in check. It should not be the same person that has the debit card and the statement. It should be two different people. Okay, let's see. It is due on the 4th Thursday in June. I know I said that before. It never hurts to repeat. Personal use of troop funds is illegal. Troops fund themselves. So once a troop starts, they get their money for fall product sales. They sell cookies. I would encourage those troops to use those funds at the end of the year to early bird their girls for the next year. It's their money. It should pay for them to register for the next year. The money should be spent on the girls that earn the money within that year. Troops can save some money for the next year, maybe for a summer trip. On your troop, I think it's there's not one up here, the report, and it has a little square on the bottom that says, what do you intend to do with your troop funds that were left? If it's more than $500, you need to put something on there. What are you saving this money for? I've seen some troops that have some pretty high balances, and the money should really be spent on those girls that earned it. If you have questions, please ask. Let's see. Service unit accounts. Okay, we got that one. The next page is the summary. That's the report. You want to go to the next slide? Under the expense file in red writing there, it says balance carryover. And that's where it says that if you have more than 500, I believe is what it says. It's pretty small. I can't read it right now. Just put an explanation somewhere on a separate piece of paper and attach it with your financial. And then on the very bottom, it has blanks for the troop treasurer and I believe the troop leader. There's 3 lines down there. Fill this in, you know, fill in every blank. It does not have a line on the very top under income for the beginning balance. You're just going to have to write that in there. Though for some reason, the line was not included. Add that in if you had a beginning balance. Add up your income minus all your expenses, and in the balance, you'll have what your balance for next year. Guidelines. Next slide. Product delinquents. Girls who are delinquent should not be punished because it's not their fault that their parents didn't turn in the money. Girls can still be part of the cookie sale by participating in cookie booths. Girls who are delinquent cannot sell door to door with their parents unless they clear up their delinquent from the year before. But by doing it with a booth, they can go with their troop leader and still earn points towards incentives. Girls never solicit cash or money or in-kind donations. If a troop is out, if they need money, they're looking for donations to help buy, say, uniform pieces. It's not the girls that should be going into businesses asking for money. It should be the leaders of the troop doing it. We're going to skip that tax-free line. Next slide, maintaining. You maintain all financial transactions. Report on the service unit checking account monthly. We talked about that. You can help the troops. Maybe you want to do a little mini training every month on, or ask them, how's their ledgers going? I saw one of the financials, a service unit purchased ring binders for every troop with inserts with pockets so that they could put their statement in there and all the receipts that went with it. And I think that was a great idea. If your service unit has the funds to do this, to give them that tool, that's great. It's not something you have to do. And offer reminders and mini trainings at meetings. The end of the year. Wow, this went fast. Okay, next slide. Again, reports are due on the third Thursday in June. Know the policies for non-returning troops. That is the disbanding troops. Remember, if the girls help decide, they can give this money to a service unit. Maybe they want to specify to the service unit to put this money aside for a brand new troop who has no money. Putting money aside for new troops is something a service unit can do and help a new troop get started so that they can buy maybe investiture patches to give to girls before when they're just getting started, just so that they have some money to start. I have seen some financials where service units have given troops a loan, and then once they get their money from fall product or cookies, they pay that back to the service unit. There's also other service units, they just give these troops some startup funds. I've seen some $50, some up to $100. There's some banks that require a $100 startup fee to open an account. So, and you know, it just is going to depend on the bank. Something else when you're setting up your bank account, see about getting the service fee dropped because it's Girl Scouts. So a lot of the banks will do that. I've seen a lot of financials that troops are being charged anywhere from $10 to $15 a month for service charge. That's a lot of money that could go towards the girls. So you can ask the bank to drop the fees, waive the fees. They don't have to, of course, but most of them will. You just have to ask. Let's see, next slide. What else do we got? Financial summary. This just kind of goes over how to do the VTK, and you can do your report right on there. Let's see, I have a couple notes. In the volunteer policy manual, it says a troop group service unit may accept a sponsorship of no more than $1,000 a year in cash. Exceptions may be made in extenuating circumstances. Decisions will be made by a CEO or designee. So keep that in mind. I have seen where troops have gotten donations to get their troops started, to buy vests, and all the patches that go on it. Let's see. Questions? Oh, here's another one I had. Financial assistance. Make sure your troops know how to find this. This is on the GSDSW website under forms. If it doesn't come up, put in the search, financial assistance. Girls may apply for assistance for, say, uniforms, books. It does say that an individual girl is not to exceed $300 per membership year. It also asks on the form how much a parent can help pay and how much you're requesting council pay. I think that's all I have. Are there any questions?
Hi, everyone. If you'd like to chat your questions in, you can chat them into the chat log. Or if you'd like for us to unmute you, you can raise your hand and we will unmute you. So I show a couple of hands already raised. If your hand is already raised and you don't have a question, would you please put it down? If you do, you can leave it up and we will unmute you so you can ask your question. And we had a question come in earlier, Annette, that I got clarification on. They said if we can print the bank activity for the year, like the one you were mentioning from Wells Fargo, and it shows the balance. Do we have to submit the monthly statements? And I didn't know the answer to that. Do you know what the official answer is? I got it from Monica, but
I would say yes, attach the statements.
yeah. So unless that comes through with all of the deposits and income, I'm sorry, expenses and income on that form, like a statement, then that's okay. But if it doesn't have all of the deposits and everything on it, then you'll need to go ahead and turn in your regular statements for the
It
year.
may not have the previous balance left from the year before either, so.
Okay, another question coming through. There's a comment about collecting checking troop financials. There was a lot of confusion at the end of the year as we asked to collect and then council said that there was no need to check. It caused confusion among everyone. So yes, do you want to address that, Annette?
Yes, I know that was put out there that service unit treasurers were to check it, and that's no longer the case because they're just submitting them through VTK. So treasurers, you're off the hook.
We apologize for any confusion that caused. To my knowledge, at that point, we were still going to be going through the service units, but that quickly changed. So thank you guys for rolling with those punches. She also asks for the withdrawals from council for fall and cookie product. Is there a specific report that the amount should be obtained from, or do troops use the email from council about the withdrawal amount?
I'm not sure what you mean by the withdrawal amount for product sales.
Do you mean the ACH amounts? The ACH pulls is what she says.
Can I answer that one?
Sure.
So this is Andrea. There is a report in both the M2 and ABC Smart Cookie that will show you what has been pulled and what is owed that you'll be able to pull. Right now you are locked out of the ABC system as they're resetting for the next year, but in the future season, you'll be able to pull that report and have that for your finances.
Any other questions?
There is another question that came in through the group chat. I was just going to mention, as always, if there is any confusion and you're not sure what you're supposed to have, you can always email info@gsdsw.org and request that information, or login help or anything like that for the ABC Smart Cookie site. The other question that we have is financial aid available for 2019-2020 year. And that's a good question.
I'll answer that.
Oh.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. This is Monica. So I'm so happy you guys have a lot of questions. That's great. So there are a lot of things. We're at the time of the year where we're working our budget along with a lot of other plans. That's happening heavily right now at council. So there will be financial aid available. We just don't know the amounts. So I will give you all more details on that. The process for requesting financial aid that Annette went over for now will still be the same though. So we still refer parents to fill out that form and turn that in.
And if you're asking for a membership to be paid, it needs to be attached to the financial assistance application.
Very good. So a couple of other questions come through. Can we have, oh, okay. This is again from about the volunteer amount. Can we have the report names to standardize the reporting? That is a good question. I will ask, or maybe Andrea, do you happen to know off the top of your head the name of that report to pull the ACH amounts? And if not, can we put that into possibly the Service Unit Fall Product Manager training, cookie training?
That is actually going to be part of the upcoming trainings, and it will be in the manuals. It's, I'm trying to remember the name of it. I want to say it's like the troop sales report or something along those lines, and it will show what the troop earned, what is owed to council, what was paid to council, and then what the troop's profits are. It'll have all of that detail on those reports. The report names, again, are going to probably be a little bit different between the two systems, but I don't have the systems up in front of me right now to be able to tell you the exact names, but it will be in the training materials coming out in the coming seasons.
Thank you, Andrea. Another question that came through is, will service unit proceeds be deposited as ACH or still checks?
I think they're all ACH now, right, Andrea?
Yes, we are going to be doing it as ACH now. Unfortunately, we had several checks that were not getting cashed. So this way we can ensure the service units are in fact getting their funds. So it will be ACH'd into the accounts from now on.
Thank you, Andrea. Okay, I also have an update that just came through while we were having this training. So we've announced that Friday there is a service unit fall product manager training. Those that have signed up for the position of service unit fall product manager, I believe have been told this already, but we will announce new changes that are going to clarify and also change some of the items that we mentioned tonight. So some of the information, because things are changing so quickly, may be changing from the trainings that you're getting tonight. We are going to be announcing them, and we'll make sure to send the link out to all the service unit managers what the changes are. So if you're a service unit manager on this call, you will receive a link with the changes. Okay. All right, I'm glad you're happy about the ACH. Very good. Any other questions that you all have? Do you want to unmute Joanna? It looks like she may. Joanna, do you have a question?
No,
Joanna?
I don't have any questions.
Oh, okay. I just saw your hand was raised. Thank you.
No, sorry.
No worries, no worries. Does anyone else have any? Shoot, we already covered those. Barbara, did you have more questions? Let me know in the chat log if you did. I saw your hand was raised. Anybody else? All right. Well, if we don't have any more questions, we will be done with this training a little early then. Our next training, oh, excuse me, Joanna asks, will this training be online? Yes, we have already posted, excuse me, and I should have covered that at the beginning. We have already posted the last 2 days links to the trainings on the website. Monica Hasso has sent out the link to the participants and to the service unit managers. It's all available online. We will have this presentation and all the other ones that we're going to have this week. They'll be online within about 24 hours or so next day. And at the end of the week, we will also send out an evaluation for all of the trainings. So if you took a training, you'll get an email asking you to fill out the evaluation. So please do that, because we want to make sure that we are improving on these trainings every time we do them. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, treasurers. We really appreciate everything that you're doing. And hopefully we'll see you on the next one. The next training is communications at 7 o'clock. We'll see you then. So